Hello everyone, today's book offers a very unique take on the old haunted house trope because it's got a lot of action, got a lot of other things going on, and so it takes that trope, it turns it on its head, and it's just an action-filled, scary book, and you are going to like it. Plus it just released last week, I believe, so it's also a new book. And we're going to talk about all that, but first, as always, I want to remind you that I have books for sale. You can find the books you see on your screen at the link in the description. I hope you choose to check them out. All right, let's get on with the video. All right, so the book we're going to be talking about today is called Haunted Ground by Cailyn Lloyd. I almost forgot the last name there, by Cailyn Lloyd. And like I said, this book just released. This book is fantastic because it doesn't just deal with a haunted house, although there is plenty of supernatural shenanigans going on to make it really scary. But the setup is what I really liked, because it's rare that you see this kind of thing in a horror book, because it starts out almost like an action adventure kind of thing, like maybe a action adventure movie or book. Because our main protagonist is on the run, and she is on the run from the cartel. That's right, those nasty old drug cartels. She crossed them in some way. Never ever do that in real life, kids. Just, I mean, if you're going to go into a life of crime and you're going to have that kind of lifestyle, just don't cross them. Just my little piece of advice for you. You're welcome. But she has crossed the cartel, so she is on the run. She knows what these people are capable of, and she is in fear, of course, for her life. But she did this thing for all the right reasons. But all she knows is that now she has to find a place to hide, someplace not obvious, someplace where she can be almost completely by herself. And she chooses an old farm that has long since been abandoned, that nobody ever goes to. It's in the middle of the woods in this small little town, far away from any kind of prying eyes. She's so cautious though, because she knows that these people are capable of finding anybody anywhere if they really want to. But she sets up shop, or sets up home, kind of squatting in this old abandoned, broken down farmhouse. She decides she wants to stay and fix it up, and there is a small town. She's very cautious whenever she goes out. She takes her bicycle into town to get her supplies and her food, and she's going to have to find a way to make it work until she can figure out what to do. That is until an earthquake strikes. Now, the thing about this earthquake is that it is in a part of the country that it should be impossible to have earthquakes. There's no fault lines anywhere. Earthquakes just do not happen in this part of the country. And so it's a very strange occurrence. This, of course, brings a lot of attention to that small town. Unwanted attention for our protagonist. And it also catches the eye of a local geologist who studies these kinds of things, but he has some very eclectic ideas about what earthquakes do when it comes to good and evil, and certain things that people do, how if this earthquake somehow affects the rise in crime of certain areas when they happen. So he's not really welcomed with open arms in his community, but he does have his ideas, he does have his research, and he's hoping that this earthquake, because of its rarity, will help him solidify his ideas. And he pinpoints the exact epicenter of where this earthquake happened, and you guessed it, it's right on the property where our protagonist is holed up, trying to keep away from everybody's eyes, hoping nobody discovers her. So he goes there, and right away there is tension, because she almost shoots him, because she's in survival mode, full-on survival mode. Nobody should be out there. When he comes tramping across thinking it's just an abandoned farmhouse, no big deal. He'll set up his little tent out there and get some readings and stuff over a few days. She almost shoots him, but they have this kind of iffy relationship at first. He explains to her what he's doing. He doesn't care what she's doing. He doesn't ask questions. He's not getting nosy. And obviously she can tell he's not some gangbanger trying to kill her. She doesn't understand what he's trying to do, but they make an agreement. He can stay out there in her field, away from her house. He's not allowed to come in. He's not allowed to ask questions. And he's fine with that. Keep his head down, do his research. Everything's cool. But the cartel is eventually going to find out where she is. But that's not the worst part about this book, because there is evil afoot. There are a lot of supernatural, frightening things that start happening. People in this town start acting weird. Crime rates start going up when they shouldn't, which kind of solidifies the geologist's hypothesis about earthquakes and crime and evil. But as the cartel is starting to move in and kind of pinpointing where this lady is, or where our protagonist is, her and the geologist, they get a little closer and a little closer. But then there's also a psychic involved, a real psychic, not a TV psychic. She doesn't do any of this stuff for money. As a matter of fact, she's very poor. But she does it because she can't communicate with the dead. She's trying to help the dead people. And we'll find out about how she does all that. But she also gets the feeling that somewhere in that farmhouse where our protagonist chose to hide out is evil, is supernatural beings, are people trying to communicate. And when she gets into the picture, it changes everything about this story. Because yes, she can talk to the dead, she can talk to spirits, but it just gets very frightening, very much full of dread, because these supernatural things are not going to stay hidden for long. They are going to want to come out. They are going to want to kill people and cause mass destruction. And in the meantime, like I said, the cartel is hot on her heels, and there's going to be consequences for that as well. So this whole book is just one thing after the other about a woman trying to hide out, knowing that she's not going to be able to, but then getting all of this stuff dumped on her all at once, along with this geologist and the psychic. And it's just fantastic. It's full of action, it's full of terror, it's full of all that good creepy stuff you want, and it's just a well-told story, something you'll be engaged with, you'll get into it, you won't want to quit reading and all that good stuff. At least I didn't. And yeah, I highly, highly recommend this book, Haunted Ground. You definitely want to pick it up, I think. I think you will enjoy it as much as I did, because it had all the elements that I like in a horror story. And really, what more can you ask for? And I will leave a link down below where you can purchase your copy on Amazon. It just came out. Be sure to pick it up, and I hope you enjoy it when you do. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time, spending it here with me. I really appreciate you guys watching. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.